Left-wing Remainers refuse to accept the results of Boris's general election, and we talk about Gina Miller's latest plan to destroy Brexit. Right, welcome everyone to today's video. Just a quick update. I finally had some sleep since election night, so hopefully we can be fresh and move on from our latest general election. Well, some of us are moving on. Not everybody's apparently accepting the result. It's not a surprise anymore. We thought that since Thursday and Friday, when Boris managed to get a huge but unexpected majority in Parliament, you would think that the Labour Party, the Lib Dems, the Remainers are going to get together and actually discuss the problems and how to actually fix them. Was it Jeremy Corbyn? Was it Joe Swinson? Was it maybe because they didn't respect democracy? But in reality, they thought, what's best? Let's get on the streets and just shout and scream at Boris Johnson, and because that's how you fix it. Now, we had Piers Morgan actually tweeting this, saying that this election was the second EU referendum and Britain just voted to leave even more enthusiastically. Those trying to flog the ridiculous people's vote just got the people's vote. And that's true, it was the people's vote. Again, because people forget that back in 2015, at that general election, people elected a Conservative majority government, the party that was offering us a referendum on EU. And then in 2016, people voted leave. And then in 2017 general election, the majority of people voted for parties that promised to implement Brexit. And again, in May and June 2019, we had the Euro elections, and the majority of people voted for the Brexit Party and the Conservative Party that are pro-Brexit. And again, this time, December 2019, people voted for Boris Johnson. It's quite clear what people want. Whether they voted Remain or Leave, just get it done. But I don't think the problem is these people who are going out there, they've been on the streets last night, and we're going to look at some of the clips. Their problem is not just Brexit. These are the socialists who just refuse to accept any democratic result. Some of them were already out in 2015 when David Cameron got a majority, but it wasn't as big as this, and it wasn't as crazy as this. So let's watch a couple of clips and see how these people were doing, because I was in Westminster last night, so I did a bit of filming to kind of see the reactions.
Prime Minister! Boris Johnson! Not my 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 Prime Minister!
Yeah, it started from there, and then the tension, it kept escalating and escalating, and this happened. And then things kicked off.
Oh my God!
Now, it's getting absolutely silly now. I don't understand the point of this. It's not like they're going to be doing this every night until the government and Boris Johnson suddenly say, actually, you know what? I'm going to resign. I'm going to ignore the democratic vote. Because of you kids, you spoiled kids who haven't actually... The problem is that the majority of these people are from a generation who have been so spoiled. They were raised in an environment with their parents, and especially our schools, where there are no more losers. Everyone is a winner. These kids get medals just to participate in some sort of game at school. There are no more losers. These people don't understand that life is tough. Life is unfair. And they weren't raised properly in a way that, to expect life to be different. And this is what happens. You got a bunch of spoiled middle class kids just crying because the vote didn't go the way it was supposed to go in their head. And that reminds me, yesterday I mentioned that Jeremy Corbyn is a teetotal vegetarian socialist. And someone actually left a comment, was really upset because thought I called all vegetarians socialist. No, Jeremy Corbyn happens to be vegetarian and socialist. So that was the problem. Now, moving on, we had more reactions on social media. There was a massive meltdown of lefties. So let's have a look at some of the tweets. One tweet said, "Me to all the rich, privileged white men who've ruined our country. You're not really that smart." Another tweet said, "Waking up in Boris Johnson's Britain tomorrow feels like..." And yeah, this is a very grown-up way of reacting. Another tweet said, "Based on the exit poll, the majority of the voting British public are..." Well, we can't use that word either. And then we had this, saying, "The world always seems a little bit darker, sadder and gloomier the day after a general election." Well, yeah, because you guys keep losing. It's not our fault. "My future is ruined." Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. "Gutted. Can't, well, believe what I'm hearing. Our country is ruined." Yeah, and then we had some reactions to the reactions from the winning side. This tweet said, "Are you getting ready to drink all those lefty tears? I think we're going to need a bigger cup." That's right, lefties. Keep feeding me your salty tears. All the tears. All the tears. Now, I don't mind. I've been in elections where I've won. I've been in elections where I've lost. You just move on with life. You learn from experiences. But for us this time, we're going to celebrate. We're getting close to 100,000 subscribers on this channel. And the plan that we have is, obviously, if you haven't subscribed just yet, make sure you click on the subscribe button and the bell next to it. The moment we get to 100,000, we're going to throw a massive party and event, which will be the party for the channel / the general election result / Brexit happening in January. So make sure that you subscribe, and I'll give you guys an update the moment that we have an event sorted. We're going to invite some MPs and senior figures to be our guest speakers, so that'll be quite fun. Now, getting back to the serious points, we have Gina Miller and Remainers who are apparently plotting again. They have plans to find a new way to stop Brexit, because until now they've been using Parliament, the Remain Parliament, and John Bercow, the Speaker of the House, former Speaker of the House. They have lost the control of the House, and they need a new avenue, and it's getting quite worrying. Gina Miller admits that the new plot to wreck Boris Johnson's Brexit exists, despite Remainers' humiliation that they had at the election. Basically, the activist Gina Miller, who always says that, she's not really a Remainer, she just wants fairness and justice to happen, the process. She's pro the whole legal process of this issue, but actually she's planning something. Gina Miller has told the BBC that her fight against Brexit is still far from over, as she revealed how Remainers will next try to halt Boris Johnson's deal. However, the arch-Remainer admitted that Boris Johnson's resounding victory meant that Remainers could no longer rely on Parliament to wreak Britain's departure from the EU. So a number of ways have been suggested to Gina Miller. One is still to use the Supreme Court, which I believe Boris Johnson has plans to depoliticize the Supreme Court, so that they don't actually get involved with everything that they're not supposed to. She might also use the European Union itself to go and basically beg them to, I don't know, cancel the deal or something. We'll see how everything actually ends, but this channel is not going anywhere. We're not done yet until we actually get Brexit sorted. So Gina Miller, we're coming for you. But the Labour Party and the Lib Dems are also changing their leaders. And we have some candidates, and I've been thinking all morning today to see who do we want to be the next Labour leader to make sure that they can never win. We have options. We have some campaigns starting. Back Bergen. As you know, Richard Bergen, one of the assets of the Labour Party, is now, there is a grassroots campaign that started this Twitter account. He hasn't obviously announced anything. This looks to be a grassroots campaign, but actually, historically speaking, every grassroots campaign to back a potential leader in politics usually comes from that person and that person's office anyway. They usually are linked. Angela Rayner has also got a couple of grassroots campaigns starting on Twitter and Facebook. So yes, this is going to be quite exciting. Now, I genuinely don't know what to expect, but we're gonna keep you guys posted on this channel. Again, obviously, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you click on that subscribe button and the bell next to it. And follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. We're gonna end this video by talking about, by showing you something very funny. We had David Cameron being interviewed on Sky News. The angle of the camera was quite specific. Let's watch the actual towards the end of this interview and the reaction we get from Adam Bolton.
That's the most important thing of all, winning the trust of people that have put their trust in us, many of them for the first time, and Boris will have my full support as he does that.
Well, I don't know why he's talking to a tree.
Let's watch that last bit again.
Well, I don't know why he's talking to a tree.
So that was a highlight of yesterday's interviews. David Cameron talking to a tree, and don't know why. But so that's where we are now. We're going to have some news for you tomorrow and Monday on the development from the Labour Party and Gina Miller's Remainer camp. So I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.